Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hello, everyone. Welcome to M Junior. M Junior show where we talk about the importance of why martial arts is important and why it's a spiritual way of living as well as a mental way of living, and as well as a physical terms of keeping your body physically healthy, but also to keep it attained with self-centered peace. We're going to learn today about why the importance of living spiritually through the arts of martial arts is important. One, it's good for self-defense. Two, it's good for the mental growth of understanding yourself mentally and physically and emotionally to grow from your mistakes, to better yourself as an individual or human being, and to understand the true values and quality of why life is important to all life forms, and we have no right to take life away because we are not a God to judge each individual's life away to throw it in the trash. And how martial arts uses a way to defend yourself, to protect those in need and the loved ones and the care of one another, to show brotherhood and tradition of actually going about protecting people without taking a life, because there's ways around it without having to take someone's life and then getting the law involved to take it from there. uh, you don't necessarily have to kill somebody to defend yourself, but you do have to defend yourself in a way until that opponent stops attacking you, which means disarm, dislocate, and destroy. It also means to end the fight very quickly, is any means necessary without serious injury. There's a way to do it. There's pressure points on the human body. Yeah.
Legal defense.
It's pressure points on the human body that you can use to disarm your opponent, dislocate your opponent, where he can't fight back. You don't necessarily have to kill to defend yourself. It's not necessary. If it was necessary, then a lot of people wouldn't be going to jail for defending themselves for taking another person's life. So, to be honest, we all need to realize that martial arts is not just based in means to fight better, but it's a means to learn yourself better and to learn your limits and how much a body can endure before it collapses and can't fight back.
Right.
And knowing the martial arts tradition of Kung Fu is one of the basics and probably the best martial arts there is to strengthen yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually. It's not just a means to fight better, it's a means to be better and to protect those you love around you without putting on a show to be accepted by others. Martial arts is basically a means to be yourself, express yourself freely without putting on a show.
Right.
It's also basically a way to learn your God, what you believe in, and strengthen your belief system or what you believe in to better yourself as a human being and as a spiritual being. It's not a means to kill or control somebody. It's a means to protect, defend, and show the way of heaven. That's what the yin yang affection is all about, showing balance in all sorts of blocks of life. Yeah, and not just means to be a better fighter, but a better you, a better spiritual leader, and a better human being. Because each person has its own reasons and changing seasons like the moon. Yeah, each person has a reason and seasons are changing like the mood. The mood of what you believe in will determine your future ahead of time. So if you take martial arts, it prepares you for that because it gives you awareness, it gives you strategy, it gives
Right.
it gives you a way to extend and expand yourself and contract yourself to your limits and understand that there's a limit that you can't go by too far or too below. It's a way to means to balance yourself and to strengthen yourself in all forms of life, rather good or bad. It's a balance between both.
Yin and the yang.
Yeah, it's a balance between both good and bad because there's bad in too much water, there's good in too much water. There's each individual thing can be bad for you and it can be good for you, but you got to learn your limits. If you don't know your limits while you defend yourself, then you can literally go to jail for fighting and taking that person's life or injuring him where that person is so messed up that they got brain injury or something like that. That's no way to defend yourself. All these new martial artists, I'm going to be honest, don't know martial arts. I've been to a lot of martial arts schools, one in Gallatin, one in Nashville, and one down there in Murfreesboro, and none of them teach the right way. I'm going to be honest, there's hardly anybody that knows martial arts nowadays. And anybody that knows the traditional and the balance and the spiritual way of it. If you don't know that, then you don't know martial arts. There's a thing called self-informant, which means knowing yourself before you teach. You can't teach somebody before you know yourself. There's no way. If you don't know yourself, then you don't know who your higher power is, or you don't know who to follow because you're confused. Yeah, and you're confused and you're following each individual other way, but you're not going path of the right way to know what is beneficial for you. Because what might be beneficial for me may not be beneficial for you.
Absolutely. I can vouch for that.
Because each individual has its own technique, its own way, its own livelihood, its own brotherhood, its own balance, its own existence, its own beginning, its own ends. Each individual, either quality or morality, has its own unique value. Rather it be bad, rather it be good. But remember, there's always a balance in each. Existence, time, life, everything involves around balance. And if you can't balance yourself as a mental status or a concentration or focus, then you can't balance yourself in life or know right from wrong, because you're following each individual way of what somebody else takes in, but you're not taking in what you need to take in to learn from them. Because you can always learn, like a old man can always learn from a young man. It's
Young man can learn from old.
yeah, it goes both ways. And you got to learn both qualities, not just one, because there's a balance in each. And if you only think about the one, then you're not looking at the bigger picture of the beautiful colors of the valley that shows the blossoms of the flower that you can truly be as a martial artist or a spiritual leader. And martial arts ain't a means to fight better, it's a means to live better. It's a means to understand yourself better. It's a means to understand your partner, your loved one better, and respect them in each full term that you can, and never turn your back on them. It's a way to understand that each value has its own quality, as each quality has its own value. And if you can't understand that, then you're not a real martial artist. A real martial artist doesn't look at the money. He looks at his students. His students come first. And his way of bettering himself as a human comes first.
Yeah. Oh, I was excited. I was listening to him.
But you gotta realize that actuality and reality are two of the same, but one of the differences, as well as the same thing, but also has differences. But looking into the bigger terms of life, spirituality, and martial arts comes hand in hand. Kung Fu is probably one of the best martial arts to learn because it combines those three: mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional. And Kung Fu is not a means to just go out there and do all fancy kicks and fancy ketais and mike ties and throwdowns and what all. It's a way to grow and strive to perfection, because each person needs to grow from itself, not devolish itself from ignorance or foolishness, because even a foolish man can learn from a wise answer, as well as a wise man can learn from a wise answer. Bruce Lee once said, "A fool is more wise than a wise man." Why is that? Because he learns from his mistakes. And he betters himself through the years that go on. And through the years that go on, he betters himself mentally and physically and emotionally, to understand that each strife has its own staff, as well as each staff has its own life, form or force or source of energy that can better grow from its existence, beyond existence, and truth beyond truth. If you only look at the mental and you only look at the physical, you're not looking at the righteous, the entire picture, or the righteous sake of awakening your inner self, your inner attitude and cultivation, to get the motivation and never give up, never be a quitter, but be a very confident person to go into a higher plane. Now, I know a lot of things in this world may not make sense to a lot of people, but truth don't come to you. You come to truth. A person can say, well, this is the right way to go, this is the right way to lead, but without the value and quality of that value and quality, what good is it if you're not taking into consideration or maybe realize and accept that you might be wrong about something? Because each person needs to grow and strive to perfection, not take and follow just because it sounds good to them. Now, a martial artist doesn't look at pinpoints or picking, a needle in a haystack. He's more on focusing and concentrating on understanding truth, living truth, and showing action and attitude to show that truth. A martial artist doesn't look for a battle, he escapes from the battle. So he doesn't have to battle. Because he knows he can win. A confident martial artist doesn't fight back unless it's the last answer to the problem. Now, all these martial artists, UFC and shit, I don't agree with. It's not the real martial arts, and Bruce Lee would be very disappointed if he found out that over 50 to 60 million people are learning the wrong way of Kung Fu or the wrong way of martial arts, period. Martial arts is not a means to go out there and show your skills and showcase your glory. That's an ignorant way. That's an ignorance way of the ego. You don't want the ego to take and destroy you along the way, because it will. And I know a lot of people think, well, martial arts ain't good. It's this and that. Well, it's only that because you got the wrong teacher. You got the wrong person teaching it. You got the wrong person trying to advocate the wrong way. It's not right. I mean, these martial artists today don't know martial arts. And they won't last a long time with a real martial artist. A real martial artist doesn't look for a means to fight or use all fancy kicks and techniques. He looks for a way to end the fight very quickly so the man doesn't fight back against him. All this sports, all this boxing, all this wrestling, all this crap, it's not real martial arts and it's not real fighting. It's not even the way of a warrior. It's not even the way of a protector. A true martial artist protects those in need who need a hero and are the hero for the entire culture that has no heroes. A martial artist doesn't look for glory because that's the ego's way of saying, I want money, I want this, I want that, because I think I'm better than everybody. You don't want to be like that. It's not martial arts and it's not the way of a warrior. If you want to be a warrior and you want to be a guardian and you want to be a protector and you want to be a martial artist, spiritual leader, any of those things, you got to first let go and accept and realize that you might actually be wrong for once. And come to grips with the fact that it's life that we lead that determines our future tomorrow. What you treat people today will determine how they treat you tomorrow. Just for terms to say that my father always told me, as you treat others today with the attitude and gratitude, so shall it be what you get back in return in the future. So what you treat people today with respect, you'll get respect in the future. And you'll grow and learn yourself and better yourself as a spiritual being. It's not about what you believe in. It's not about what you look like. It's what's in the heart. It's what's in the soul. It's what's in the spirit. If you can't see that, then what are you really fighting for? Why fight in a war when knowing the war only cares about money, mischief, and control? A war doesn't fix nothing. Now, as for a martial artist, they don't believe in fighting in wars unless it's the last answer to the problem. That's why those Chinese won't fight us in a war, because they know that we lose and that they don't have to fight unless it's the last answer to the problem. And they don't fight unless it's really necessary. That's why those Chinese people are very peaceful, very, very respectful, very thankful of life and what God gives them, because they don't look at all this other shit that everyone spits at them. They look at what they know and what they feel is beneficial and what is righteous in their sake. Because they don't look at what's on the outside, it's what's in the inside. To be honest, it's like a flower. It's not what's on the outside that makes it grow, it's what's on the inside that makes it grow. Just like a human being, it's not what's on the outside of us, it's what's in the inside of us that will make us grow, make us better ourselves, help each other out, love one another, care for one another. It's not what you believe at all. If it was, then a lot of people wouldn't be at each other's throats. People won't be killing people. People won't be so damn confused. People will be at peace if they just come to fact in the actuality of reality and actualization of realization to realize that everything is a growing process to enter the heavens, not a process of believing something because somebody tells it to us. It doesn't work that way. My grandfather always said, truth don't come to you, you gotta come to truth. And if you can't see that, then how do you expect to see the light at the end of the tunnel? You can't have both on the same level when each difference is a growing process to better ourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. If you only concentrate and focus on the aspects of it, then you're not really knowing your God, your what you believe in, or anything. Just the same with martial arts. It's the same way with life. Martial arts teachers in today's society don't know martial arts because they're not coming to the actuality of acceptance to realize that they might be wrong for once. Instead, they want to make believe and live in their fairy tale like they're always right, when there's always somebody that could know more than them. And to be honest, that's not the way of a teacher. That's not the way of a martial arts teacher is supposed to be. And each person needs to realize that martial arts is a means of life. It's not a means to fight better. It's not a means to kill and take a vengeance and fight, just go out there and get your glory. It's a means to live better. It's a means to understand yourself. It's a means to grow. It's a strive perfection and to enter the heavens so you don't end up where everyone else is ending up. I don't know what else to say, but all these people that say karate's better, Wing Chun's better, there's no system, no technique that's better besides the one that you know, and that is yourself. If you don't know yourself, you don't know any techniques, any value, any quality, anything. You can't expect to grow and strive to perfection and enter the kingdom of heaven unless you know yourself and your values and your quality and what benefits you. Because what benefits everyone else may not benefit you. You got to learn that martial arts is not a means to just do whatever the hell you want. It's a means to live better, know your God better, or superior person, whoever you believe in, to be connected and living as action to show the way that what you believe in is correct. That's all. Hope y'all had a nice listen. Hope I taught y'all something, and I hope y'all enjoyed. Have a nice day. And Merry Christmas.